We go to Arsenal. 4 points clear at the top with 12 games to go. If you don't go on and win the league now, considering you could have been 9 points clear if Liverpool had hung on against Manchester City, would this be getting described as basically throwing away, bottling it, doing a Newcastle?
For sure. Of course, we know it would be, and it has been in the past. I think it would have gone down as a bottle job 22, 23. Some would argue 23, 24. What people want me to do is come on here and stick to that narrative that people are pushing, which is we haven't got the minerals, the players and the managers don't have the minerals. If Arteta doesn't win this or that, he's got to go. But fuck all of that. We're 4 points clear, and no one is looking at anyone else. It's all on Arsenal, and that doesn't quite sit right with me. We've been 4 points clear actually for quite a few months now. The first time I came on here was October, and we were top of the league, and we're still top of the league. The frustration is, where I see the narrative coming from, is we could have extended that lead a lot more, and we've let City come quite close, and it's the PTSD from the past. Why are you laughing?
You lost the league this round.
You're scared, man.
I am a little bit scared. Look,
You look scared.
I'm a little bit scared.
Yeah.
The reason that I'm nervous is, look, like I said last time I came on here, I said that no one doubts our quality. No one doubts that on our day, all of our footballers are borderline world class, if not world class, in our starting 11. But what it is going to come down to is the mentality. And we don't know if we have that mentality yet. We do know that Man City have that mentality.
I mean, Wayne, I made a comment about Arsenal about 3 or 4 weeks ago on the back of picking my Premier League team of the season so far. And you're talking about mentality. I think Arsenal have got great mentality. But do you think there could be a lack of quality in the final third? I said that about when I watched Arsenal. I don't think they've got an absolute superstar in the front 4 or 5 players. I thought Saka and Odegaard were going to get there a couple of years ago. I thought they're ready to sort of almost become the best player in the league. You know, you were that for Man United, but you win leagues, you'd be the best player in the league, or Ronaldo would be, Salah would be for Liverpool. I don't think Arsenal have got one of them. So when you're saying mentality, I think what could stop them is actual quality.
Yeah, no, I agree with, they haven't got an out-and-out superstar world-class player you pin everything on. But I think what we've seen over the last 3 years is they know how to win games. So they've shown you actually don't need that. But for me, I think what's happening is the Arsenal fans, the ex-players coming out, are actually killing them. They should stay silent and let everyone else talk. I heard Martin Keown on
I knew you were going to say.
I heard Martin Keown on TalkSport saying having a 6 point gap is better than 9. And I was like, what are you talking about? And that's an experienced player who's getting nervous, and that is what's going through to the fan. I think Arteta is actually handling it brilliantly. I think the way he's speaking, how he's coming out in the media, how he's trying to calm the players down, is brilliant. But I think it's actually other people who are connected to the club who would actually have more of an effect. And so if you look at Arsenal quality-wise, I think they've got a lot of quality. Have they got that superstar, Ronaldo, Drogba, Aguero type player who's going to make a difference? I don't think they have, but they know how to win games. And they've shown that over the last 3 years.
We've scored 90 goals across all competitions, which is the most out of any English team. So it's not... look, no one's denying that we haven't been ruthless in the final third, but our goals do come from somewhere. What I think...
Come from corners and goals, man.
Yeah, but it's worked because we're top of the Premier League, top
when
of
you
the
say
Champions
somewhere,
League.
You might as well just name.
Yeah, but there's a lot of goals. It's 90. We've
not scored the most in the league. You got second most in the league.
Okay, but you're second in the league 4 now. Yeah. So it's
we'll keep it warm.
It's been working. But what I think we haven't developed since the first year that we bottled it is our ability to win games of football that we probably shouldn't have won. And that is what scares me about Man City. That is what I think is the difference between us. I don't think there's too much difference in quality between us. I think it'd be a great game. We'll see it coming up soon. But you look at City the other day, 1-0 down, 84th minute, 6 minutes to go plus added time, and they turn it around 2-1. They had absolutely no right to win that game, and they did. And that is what I don't think we've quite got just yet. We've had many chances to replicate those type of games. Growing up, I've only ever seen United, City, Chelsea and Liverpool lift titles. And if you go back to all of those seasons where they won the league, you can pinpoint a game that won them the league. There was a game that they shouldn't have won, they had no right to win. We haven't quite done that yet. We haven't quite got a game that you could look back on and think, that game is the one. I remember Chelsea at the Etihad, 2017.
Yeah.
You rocked up,
down,
beat them
yeah.
3-1, and you left as champions that day, in my opinion. And that is what's frightening about Man City. But it's in our hands. 12 to go, 4 points clear. Every game's massive. Every point is so precious. And I do back us to do it.
Are you worried about the North London derby coming up?
I'm worried about Wolves first. I think Wolves will be a tougher game than Spurs. I think the NLD will be a good game. Its form goes out the window, although we have taken them for a dog walk in the last 6 or 7. But it will be a tough game. What do you reckon, Flav?
Flav, you all right? I think we're going to beat you. That's what I think.
I think you'll be bang up for it. I think that the home advantage will definitely be a big thing. You know, new gaffer on the touchline, bit of music beforehand. But
Look, it ain't even about win. Like, if we just take anything from you, that's going to be a massive problem.
Yeah.
I'm not particularly worried. I think you've got a lot of injuries. I think our quality is enough to get past it. In my opinion, this might sound a bit cliche, it might sound a bit outrageous, but I think whoever wins that Carabao Cup final will go on to win the league, because I think the momentum shift will be massive.
Yeah. But then you meet us again, don't you, in the quarterfinals if you spoke of
for the Champions League.
And then in the league.
So I think that 3-4 week period is going to be huge. I mean, it's going to be huge. Whoever goes through that
it's a big psychological thing, and also we're desperate for a trophy. We haven't won a trophy in a long time now. I think for City and I think for Pep, he couldn't give a shit if he wins the League Cup. It's more of an ego thing for him. He doesn't want Arteta to have one up on him going into this little run-in. So I think it's a massive game. I think it goes more than just a League Cup trophy. It's a big momentum shift.
I think we'd all agree that we think Arsenal are the best team. I think most of us watching this season.
Yeah. 26 games in.
But the point I'm trying to make is, Adam, as a Man United fan, the thing I think City have got is we've been there before. We've done this before. They don't feel the pressure. They've won 6 titles in 7 years. We don't feel it's a vintage City. But have you watched Man United teams of the past where throughout the season you felt like you weren't watching the greatest of Man United teams, but they'd end up winning the league just through a sheer sort of, Ferguson, speed and so. Could you see a situation like that where actually City do win the league, even though most people think, Arsenal have got the best squad, have got the best team, just through, as I said, what Manchester United maybe did in certain seasons, maybe just mentality got them over the line.
Arsenal as well, I think they're obviously one of the best teams about, but they clearly have this mental issue, and I do think at the moment a lot of their fans are kind of putting their head in the sand and being like, we actually are enjoying what's going on at the moment. It's easy to enjoy it when you're top of the league. I find if they just slip off there, the pressure from the fans then is going to come as well, and I think there'll be a lot of talk about the style of play, but I do think there's that pressure coming, and I think for a long time they would have felt this City team aren't going to string a couple of results together. They can't really get going like they have done before. But then, like I say, that result at Anfield, we've had big results like at Anfield over the years, and sometimes you get a result and you just think, this is our league title. And I think looking at City that day, because I want Arsenal to win the league, outside of their fan base, I think I'd rather see them win the league, but I think City are going to do it. I think they're cranking up the pressure a little bit, and Arsenal fans are kind of sticking their head in the sand. Oh, it's still 4 points, it's still 4 points. Next thing you know, it's going to be 2 points.
Every side that wins a league, generally speaking, every side that wins a league, they do it. Like, there've been some fairly underwhelming Chelsea teams that have won the league, but they do it because of the brilliance of Diego Costa. They do it because of the brilliance of Eden Hazard. The Victor Gyökeres doesn't carry you to a league title.
Yeah, but there's others in the team.
No, but in forward capacity, who?
That goes back to what I said earlier on.
Gabriel's not going to carry.
I'm saying the same as Rory. I still think Arsenal win the league, but my point is the same as Rory's. When you're picking a team of the season, the team who win the league normally the centre forwards or the wingers. Like,
it's not true. It's not true. There's been plenty of Man United teams in the past where that you weren't in that won the league, that Scholes was in, and there was no other attackers in the league.
Now, one of the most underwhelming Premier League winning seasons for us was the 19th title. You double 19. But Berbatov scored 19 goals that season. He was still top goal. I think he was joint top goal scorer.
Gyökeres is on.
It was a bit underwhelming, but he's still top goal scorer. Gyökeres ain't it.
Whatever happened to the saying, attack wins you games, defence wins you leagues?
You still need attackers, though.
We've got attackers. Gyökeres has put in a few. Our goals are spread out. Yeah, we haven't got an out-and-out number 9 that scores 35. We haven't got an Erling Haaland, but we've got players that win games by not conceding goals.
You keep talking about players like the world-class one, like Saka and Gyökeres and
why are we
these
top
guys
of the
ain't
league,
it.
Adam? Why are we top of the
These guys are because of your defence.
Exactly.
And City and Liverpool fell off massively.
The whole way, that's what they're asking.
Well, that's what we're seeing.
You're also top of the league by a Rizzler paper now, and everyone else has been abject. Like, that's the concern, isn't it? Everybody else...
Ruben got us 4 more points. We're in the title race. That's how shit this league is.
We just drop points, and you're thinking Arsenal are going to go...
If Arsenal were this good, they should be 15 points clear.
A prime example is what you said. We drew to Brighton. It was our 3rd draw in a row. We'd... From ahead, drew to Brighton, drew to Chelsea, drew to Sunderland, 3 games in a row. The next day, you play Liverpool at home, a pretty weakened animal.
Yeah. But in between us dropping points, you've dropped points as well. That's easy.
No, but that's my point. We're dropping points, and you have the chance. You get the chance. And you can't do it.
Wayne, can you see? You've been involved in plenty of the run-ins. You've been the team in front, getting chased by someone, and vice versa. How would you see it from a Manchester City point of view? Do you think there's any way they can win this league? Or
Yeah, of course they can. I still think there's a third of the season left to go. So anything can happen from this point. Villa, no one's mentioned Villa, although I think they won't get anywhere near it. But they're still there. They're still within touching distance. I can see City win. I think Arsenal will win it. I think Arsenal are too strong to. They're a powerful team, and I think they'll win it because of Arteta. I think he's been brilliant this season. I think in previous seasons, when the pressures come on, he's shown that, and that maybe filters down into the players. But I think he's handled it spot on this year, and so I think Arsenal win it. But City will, I think, will run them close. I just can't see City winning every game and Arsenal dropping the points to.
Yeah, I still think City.
If City beat them, it's 1 point, innit?
Yeah,
it's 1 point. I don't think they have to win every game like that.
But by the time we get to that game, things change. So you can always look and say, "Oh, you've still got to play Man City at the Etihad," but actually, Arsenal might be 9 points clear before that they get to that game, or City might be.
Even if there were 9 points clear and City win it though, you'd still go, "Ooh, 6 points. It's going to happen again."
I think we were 7 points clear with 4 games to go and lost the league.
2012.
So, as we're saying, there's 12, 13 games left. There's a lot of football to be played, and so literally when you get to that last handful of games, that's when you start seeing the real champions.
People like to look back as well. You love to look back on previous title races in the last 3 or 4
years. Can't look forward and say you're going to win it in 3 years.
No, but I mean, like the 22-23, we had a lot of fun that season. I think we were very naive to think we could have played the football we played the whole season. And we turned up to the Etihad needing to win, and you absolutely wiped the floor with us. And you showed us what real champions look like. You look at our team now, I think we've grown so much since then, on and off the pitch. We're not going to turn up to the Etihad and have a performance like that. This is a proper title race, and I think you need to show more respect to your competitors.
No, but can I just say about respect? I'm just going to put it out there. You're all talking about the league, what it is like this season. None of you were respecting the other team. You couldn't even beat us. Do you know what I mean?
The league is a great standard.
So you're one of the only, but we're talking about, the standard of the league is rubbish. Just because the Big Six isn't the Big Six anymore doesn't mean the standard of the league is rubbish.
I mean, the standard of the league's rubbish because Man United sacked their manager this season. Ruben Amorim was one of the worst. And if we had 4 more points from him, we're probably in a title
race. As we know, Man United are the only team in the league. The fact of the matter is, the football is not just the Big Six anymore.
No one's saying that.
But you're talking about, when we're having this conversation, we're talking about Liverpool, we're talking about City, we're talking about these games changing it. You couldn't even beat us.
Well, there is a lot of Big Six fans sat here.
Yeah, and you need to start looking down
why
and start looking at
Why do we have to
Liverpool
respect each other?
We'll come to you. Right at the back, we'll kick off with James from CBS.
Hi Miguel. First of all, your views on the game overall?
Well, very happy, obviously, with the results and especially the performance, the way we started the game. You really want to show how much you want it when you play against this kind of opposition in the Cup, and we certainly had that attitude. And then I was a bit surprised with the level of cohesion and connections very early in the match, because when you make that many changes, that can be a part of the game that can be lacking, but certainly wasn't, and we scored some very, very good goals, and I'm very pleased with that.
Obviously with Ricardo coming out, you could maybe brought in Declan, Piero or Martin, but you played Bukayo in sort of more central areas. Is that something you've been looking to try, and how did you think it worked?
Yeah, that's something that's a possibility, and I wanted to try it, and we might use it in the future. So still so many games, competitions, and different scenarios to play in the season, and that's a possibility that we have. Yeah.
Tom, Reach.
Okay, just two quick ones. Quickly on Ricardo, what's the situation with him, and is he okay?
Yeah, him and Ben is the only doubt. We have to wait and see in the next 48 hours how things develop.
And you might remember a press conference a couple of years ago where we talked about goalkeepers and substitutions in games of goalkeepers, and you said in the right moment you would make a change.
Yeah.
Was today that day?
No, this was a different context, I think, a different moment that I was referring to a few years ago, but I think everybody has to feel that he's got a chance, and if there are players, one of them will be Tommy, for his attitude and the way he helps everybody every single day. So we had a chance to play in some minutes. We have to try to do it, and I think he was very happy.
Hi Mikel, just another one on Bukayo, because he's played there before, I think during the lockdown kind of seasons. What do you like about him in those areas compared to when he's played off the right?
Well, he's more central, he's closer to the goal. It's a bit more difficult for the opponent to get his reference constantly. He can interchange position with a wide player as well, and he's so good at picking those spaces, and when he's there, he can really hurt you with the ball.
And when you say you were surprised by the cohesion, was it him in particular, or?
No, there were a lot of them, and most of them they haven't played that much together, so that's not easy. But some of the goals were exactly what we wanted to do.
Matt Standard.
It looked like the plan was going to be to give Miles minutes in midfield today. Obviously, you couldn't do that for late change. How frustrating was that to not be able to do?
No, that was another learning moment, and I always tell them, be ready, because in the role that you have, it can change any minute. And Bukayo had to be ready, and he was made aware of that very, very, very late. But you need to understand the position, you need to understand the global intentions of the team, and if you do that, then you can perform, and I think Matt had a really good game.
Ed, go ahead.
Hi Mikel, two great assists from Eze today, the first two goals. Pleased that a confidence booster for him after a difficult week.
Yeah, some superb balls, and his intentions, I think the risk that he took in the final third, the amount of shots that he tried to.
Mikel, good to see you. There's lots going on today, but let's start with your team. Let's start with some team news, shall we? There's a few injuries, not as many as there's been previously, but can you give us an update on Martin, on Bukayo, Max, and also Leo came off late in that game against Sunderland?
Yeah, Max is still not available. The rest we will see when we make the medical meeting.
How's Max doing in his recovery?
He's doing very well. I think he will be with us in a week or so, and then he just needs to pick up the rhythm and be available for us.
And I saw Mikel posted a picture across his socials, had his operation. How did it go? And is there any timeline at all about when we could see him? Could we see him before the end of the season?
Well, I think the doctors were really happy the way it went. Now it starts obviously a long process. You're talking about bone healing, so you need to be patient. You respect the timings. I'm sure Mikel is going to do everything that he possibly can to speed up that recovery. And the time frames, we're talking about months, whether it's 3 or 4 or 5, we don't know.
There was a lot of noise over the weekend about the City-Liverpool game, and lots of Arsenal fans were watching it, and I think lots of Arsenal fans were a little bit disappointed at the end that City were able to come back. Did you watch it? What did you make of the game?
I understand that, but it's the things that we cannot control. So it's completely up to us what we have to do. We have to focus on us, on the presence. We know every 3 days what is coming, and just enjoy that.
And what were the players' reaction to? Because I can imagine they'd have watched it as well, and 9 points is, of course, better than 6. But what's their reaction been? Have you had to give them a message or anything?
They were really happy when we beat Sunderland, because we knew that was going to be very tough. Then everybody's in his houses watching it. We have discussed about the way we have to take this constantly and just put all the energy in what we do. That's it.
And is there a message that, obviously there's so many ups and downs, changes throughout the title race, so the fact that you're going to be playing twice before, when City only played once, so that gap could keep increasing as well. Is it just remain focused?
Remain focused, because that's going to happen from now till the end of the season, and it has happened in the last 6 months. So for us, it's something normal, natural, and I'm looking forward to it.
And look, there's big news this morning about a fellow manager, Thomas Frank, losing his job. Just wanted to first of all get your reaction to the news.
Well, obviously very sad news when you have a colleague that doesn't continue doing his job, because Thomas is an excellent coach, he's an extraordinary man as well, and he's proven that in the league. So we know where we are. We know that our responsibility is beyond just performance, that sometimes result dictates what happens with us. So I wish him all the very best for whatever he decides to do next.
Is the Premier League becoming more impatient these days?
I don't know. I don't think you can just take every example in the same possible way. I think the context at every club it's very different, but it's always a possibility.
And look, obviously people are going to compare Arsenal and Tottenham, they're rivals playing against each other next weekend. When you look at the two clubs, and since you've joined Arsenal, Tottenham have had 8 different managers in the dugout in that time. Is there an argument of what you're doing, that stability, time, patience, first of all, the success that can bring, second of all, what's been the key to maintaining that stability, not just from the playing staff, but it's also throughout the whole club as well?
Yeah, but I think every era is different at every club, because we have in this Premier League 2 of the most iconic managers with Arsene and Sir Alex as well for so many years, and then that scenario changed a lot from both clubs. So I don't know. It depends on many factors.